Hey Zen friends, welcome to the 6th Zen Gate of 2025, and in this video we chat about what a Zen Gate is, and we also have a card reading bringing in more messages from Spirit around this specific gate. Let's jump in. The number 6 of the major arcana of the tarot, the Lover's card, brings Gemini Twin mental air energy on 6/6, activating our mental reflection on love, love, love. And this energy encourages us to question what we're believing in the moment around our relationships. And this is about any type of relationship, romantic, friends, family, whatever. Now, the Lover's card has an interesting story with it that is fitting for the subject of this portal today. Before it, in the major arcana, we have other characters that include the Emperor, number 4, and the Hierophant, number 5. And they can represent the rules and structure of society and organized religion and spirituality. We're given a long list of rules growing up on how things are supposed to be, and we're punished if we don't obey them, and praised and rewarded when we do. So we're taught to suppress our emotions and actions that do not fit in with those in authority around us. But when we hit the Lover's card, it is like the energy of a Romeo and Juliet, or Juliet and Juliet, or Romeo and Romeo. This is when we have love burst in our hearts, usually as teenagers, for either another person, a band, a movie, a party, something that becomes so important to our heart that we're ready to face the punishment for choosing to pursue the capture of the thing our heart so desires. This Zen Gate also brings in the energy of the power of emotional choice. Every moment we make choices, mental choices of the story we want to apply to the moment, energetic choices of what we're focusing on and attracting to ourselves, physical choices about the actions we take in the outside world, and then, of course, emotional choice of the emotion we want to feel in this moment. Sometimes, well, maybe many times, especially in the beginning when we become aware of the power of choice, it may not seem that we're making choices since we're kind of just reacting to the choice that we have been conditioned to choose out of habit. We make the choice so fast as a reaction that we don't even think we are choosing, that it is just happening to us. It can be a bit daunting in the beginning to realize that our lives are what they are because of the choices we ourselves made. But also when we realize that the power does lie in the person's hands who it's best to lie within, meaning our own power over our own lives, then we can be gentle with ourselves, knowing that we did the best we could with the information we had at the time, the energy that was around us at the time, and the environment within which we were moving. And with new information, we can now adjust our path and our actions and our choices. Every moment is a choice between lower vibrational, small t truths rooted in fear, or higher vibrational choices rooted in the unconditional love of the higher realms. There is no wrong choice, just different choices with different outcomes and different experiences. When we are tired of one way, we can choose another. And that is one of our most awesome powers. So this Zen Gate magnifies the mirror for us to look into, like a twin looking at itself, very Gemini energy. And it allows us to make a different choice if we're not interested in what we're seeing or feeling any longer. Boom. So we can take some time to think about what we believe around love and why. Are we ready to sacrifice our rules that we took on for love? What advice or information does Spirit want to add to the wisdom of this Zen Gate? Let's find out. All right, Zen friends, let's jump in. We're going to start off using this Seasons of the Witch Oracle. It's for Letha Oracle, which is summer solstice, which we're around right now. And we're going to use a spread from this book. It's the Seasons of the Witch, in case you're interested. And they have spreads in here, recommended spreads. And this one's called Hydration Spread. So let's dive in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull one card. We'll pull 4 total cards. The first card is, how are you currently viewing your situation? So since we're focusing on relationships, we want to focus on how are you currently viewing your important relationship today. So let's take a look here. All right, we do have this one. This is number 1. Put down here in the corner here. Number 2 is, what are your blind spots regarding this important relationship that's on your mind or on your heart right now? Okay, so that's number 2. And then number 3 is, how can you experience a deeper understanding of this situation? This is number 3. And then number 4 is, what action steps can you take for a positive resolution? Well, there we go. We kind of saw it. If you saw it really fast, good rewind. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. We'll just put those over there for now. And we'll dive in here and see. So first of all, how are you currently viewing this important relationship? You've got Heather, card number 14. That'd be funny if the person you're wondering about is named Heather. But it says, you are worthy, my dear. Silence the noise that strips you of your peace. Wow. Okay. So let's take a look here. Put that down there. Let's see here, number 14. Let's see what comes in with this card. So the key words are peace of mind, protection of dreams, worthy of admiration. It says, rest easy, my dear. Your dreams are protected. You have felt worried that your plans have been foiled or that a recent bout of competition is going to derail your success. There's no cause to fear this recent attack because although annoying, it is confirmation that you are worthy of admiration, and those attempting to defeat you are projecting their own insecurities and fears that your light will dim theirs. Pay no attention to the noise unless they're absolutely negative. You may have to stand up for yourself here and there, but otherwise, much of what you are experiencing is a whole lot of bark and no bite. Do not let anyone else's criticism plant doubt in what you have worked so hard to achieve. Keep your mind trained on your vision. Establish boundaries and remember that you've gotten yourself this far, and you can go as far as you dare. If you're experiencing doubts, you can always try on someone's comments to see if they hold any truth. To do so is a healthy form of self-awareness as long as you do it with honesty. If for some reason you do find a criticism to be true, know that it is well within your ability to confront and overcome any perceived shortcomings. All people have perceived faults, but that doesn't mean those faults have to prevent you from achieving your goals. Thank the naysayers for bringing this to your attention and then do what you do best. Evolve, right? So I like this here, if this energy matches what you're going through now with important relationships in your life, it sounds like there's competition, like other people trying to draw their attention away, or could be even your own self-thoughts and your own self-talk is battling inside of you, doubting your worth, doubting what's unfolding between you and someone else, whether it's lover, friend, family, coworker, whatever, that it's challenging your worth, it's shaking and rattling your cage to what is it that you need to accomplish in life to be acceptable? What is it you're supposed to be doing, right? Should be doing, need to be doing. But all those expectations is where those perceived faults come in. because everyone has a different list of who they're supposed to be. Should be those small teachers we were talking about in the intro, which are rooted in lies. It's rooted in opinion, but we get to choose who we are. We are the ones that define our worth, not other individuals. So I like this kind of shaking up and allowing us to really view the situation honestly and go, where am I putting my power around my worth? In someone else's hands by their words or silence, their actions or non-actions? Right? We turn inward to our own heart, inward and upward, to define ourselves by the powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that we are. And we are priceless. We're not, worthy of a clearance rack, like sometimes the world tells us, right? So I love this. How are we currently viewing our situation, our personal, important personal relationships? Right? What are our blind spots? Let's take a look here at this one. We've got the fruit wine. Yeah. Card number 10. Beautiful card. And it says, this is a celebratory invitation to the possibilities gifted when you reach beyond yourself. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's see what number 10 brings in. So the key words are celebration, invitation, and breaking the ice. So it's time to get out there and be social. No, I know. Hermits unite alone at home by ourselves. Anyway, I'm sorry. So it says, it's time to get out there and be social, to make new friends, build relationships, and invite people along on your journey. Your chances of success will increase tremendously with the help of others. If you're seeking love, consider asking friends and family to make introductions, or set you up on a blind date. If you are starting a business, seeking a partner who shares an interest in your plans may be the missing piece. Perhaps it's too much to go it alone, so having someone to share in the hardships as well as the successes can reduce the feelings of being overwhelmed that you felt on your own. So this card can also represent the presence of a kindred spirit, someone who understands you as though you were the same. There is the promise of lifelong kinship and a mutually beneficial pairing of support. The sense here is that you have found your folks and are experiencing the sense of coming home. The shadow side of this card can be a feeling of being left out or left behind. And sometimes people grow apart, or life gets in the way, and it isn't as easy to spend time together anymore, which doesn't have to mean the end of a relationship, but may be a sign to welcome new people into your life who can fill some of the void. Open your heart and allow different attachments to form. You never know when you've met the next addition to your soul family. Yeah, so the blind spot is thinking that other people are going to be the same as everyone in the past. But I like that because I used to have a big trust issue. And when I went to counseling for a while, it was great because my counselor, she was awesome. She said, well, if you mistrust men, it was a mistrust of men at the time. And they were like, well, do you feel like you do the same as they did? I go, well, no. And they're like, well, if you are an exception to the rule, do you think there's other exceptions to the rule too? And it was like, wow. And I feel like that's the blind spot, is that we think, well, we're different, everyone else is the same, while these other people that have let us down or that we've had these altercations with and that. But this is saying that's our blind spot, that there are amazing people out there. And as we see ourselves differently, as we do our inner work, we start to see people in the outside world differently as well. Because our blind spot also is, we think we see the world accurately, but we see the world as we are, not as it is. And so if we don't like what we see in the outside world, then we go back to the projection. We're down here. Because if it's out there, it's somewhere in here. And if we transform this, then the outside world changes too. So I love that for us. Number 3, we are here. How can you experience a deeper understanding of our personal relationships? Let's see what else we have here. Mulch and manure. That pretty much sums it up, right? Card number 26. Hardships are coming to an end. The seeds you sowed will be blooming soon. All right. I love that. That positive attitude. Mulch and manure do help things grow, which is a good message in itself, right? All right. So these energies are improving circumstances, an ability to hold more. And it says mulch and manure downright stink. It isn't pleasant to work with, but it does serve a very useful purpose. In gardens, it helps to improve soil conditions and increases the dirt's ability to hold more nutrients and water. Of course, manure is the result of animal waste, and there's nothing glamorous about that, but the results are undeniable. Brilliant flowers, ripe fruit, and a plethora of summer veggies make the muck and smell worth a little bit of discomfort. The obstacles you have lately faced are slowly improving your circumstances. The soil you were planting your seeds in before wasn't rich enough for your goals to thrive. You may have attempted to increase your finances, find love, change jobs, or experience more peace in your life, only to find your hard work spoiled again and again. And then, when that happens too many times, the benevolent universe steps in to fill your life with fertilizer in the form of challenges, changes, and losses that will ultimately result in new fertile ground. The good news is that your hardships are coming to an end, and you will see the sprouts shooting up very soon. In the meantime, do your best to understand the lessons your fertilizing period has taught you, because you'll have to start all over again if you don't learn how to maintain while you're growing or what you're growing. Wow, I love that, because it can feel like that, when we're going through hard times in relationships and obstacles and maybe some endings in those. A lot of times we'll have stepping stones, right? That'll help us get to where we're going. But obstacles come up. The growing pains happen when we suffer, when we have conflict that arises, because it's always impacting us below the scenes, under the, in the subconscious, below, like I said, behind the scenes, under the surface is what I was trying to remember. And it is these conflicts that bring it up so that we could see it and so that we can be released from it too. So I really like that, this is mulch and manure we have, but helps our harvest later. So that's how we can experience a deeper understanding of our situation, knowing that everything does happen for us. If it's not the fruit itself, it's the mulch and manure that help us get that. So I like it. And then lastly, for the oracle reading, number 4, what action steps can you take for a positive resolution, to have a positive connection with this important relationship? You got cloud scrying. Oh, I thought it said clouds crying. Cloud scrying, looking up into the clouds. What do we see? Card number 6, the number of unconditional love, of course. Be still, for it's in the act of patience that guidance is met with clarity. All right, that's what we wanted to hear, right? How can we get a better positive resolution? What action step? Be patient. Let's see what else it says. We know, taking time. Take the time, allow it. All right, here it is. So the key words are guidance, patiently seeking answers. Isn't it lovely? That's a beautiful song, right? Isn't it lovely? Anyway, while out on a picnic on a summer afternoon, to lie down on the grass and watch the clouds go by. Look closely and you will see images dancing about the bright sky. For some non-magical folk, this may seem like a fun game of optical illusions, But the clouds hold valuable insights and guidance for those in tune with the spiritual realms and willing to wait patiently for their wisdom to unfold. Receiving this card is confirmation that your prayers have been heard and tells you to be patient as the answers presents itself. There is nothing more for you to do at this time except keep your eyes open for subtle clues and signs pointing you in the right direction. What appears hazy and formless at first can shift little by little until it suddenly becomes clear, offering an answer to a question or solutions to a chronic problem. If you're seeking answers from or about another person, know that they are contemplating and will respond soon. The shadow side of this card is attempting to force an answer. Asking the same question again and again, it won't change anything, but it could become irritating and frustration to those on the receiving end. It doesn't matter whether you are directing your impatience towards spirit or someone you know, the answer will be given when the person's ready to give it. Wow. And then there's a cloud scrying practice. It says cloud scrying is one of the first forms of divination that children are naturally drawn to. Many times we see what the clouds share with us in the form of fun shapes and images. But did you know you can communicate with the sky and receive responses to your questions? How exciting. This practice is effortless. All it takes is for you to look up into the sky. Find a place where you can be with your clouds in peace. And before you ask anything, say, hello, acknowledge the clouds' presence, and take a few slow, deep breaths. It takes patience, so don't expect the clouds to reveal something immediately. Sit with your question for a moment, even speak or think about it 3 times, and then be patient and allow the magic to reveal itself to you. How fun. So consult the clouds in the sky. Beautiful. So I love that spread. And then we're going to hear from the Naked Heart Tarot. We're just going to ask here just a few more questions and see what Spirit has for us. So the first one is just, what do we need to know about our beliefs around relationships? Kind of like our blind spots. What do we need to know? What can we know right now that'll help us here? I feel like we can use these here. All right. So we've got the 3 of Cups. Wow. Beautiful card. This is a card of joy and celebration. And so right off the bat, something that we can know about our beliefs around relationships is if they're not of joy, then they're of fear, right? And we can, whatever we focus on grows and expands. So if I focus on what people aren't doing, all those expectations, all the things that they're not, it sucks the life out of a relationship, because whatever we focus our energy on is what grows. And if I'm focusing on not doing, I get more of someone not doing. If I focus on the gratitude of what someone is doing, then I get more of that instead. So it's a good transformation and awareness of focusing on joy, and gratitude can bring us that. Here we got the Power of Choice card. Another Power of Choice card. But focusing on joy and gratitude and celebration and higher vibration brings that in instead of more of the other. Can you imagine a relationship or a friendship of any kind where all we do is talk about what we love about in someone and not, you're not doing this, you're not doing that? We would love that for ourselves, right? Who wouldn't want to be in a friendship or a relationship like that? And here is, so the Chariot is the big Power of Choice card. It is all about being aware of where we focus our energy. So reinforcing the message I just mentioned here. But the Lover's card is one of the emotional choice cards. And we have, 2 of Swords is mental choice, 2 of Pentacles is physical choice, 2 of Wands is energetic choice, and 2 of Cups is also emotional choice, in addition to the Lover's card. So this is bringing all of that realization in here is, what do I need to know about my beliefs around relationship? Again, if it's it's either higher vibration or lower vibration. And if we don't like the lower vibration that we're bringing into with a relationship, then we can look at where's my vibration, because I'm the one that's making all these mental, emotional, energetic, and physical choices for a relationship. We also have the Hanged Man, allowing transformation. We're always constantly in a kind of a cycle of transformation, letting the old go, letting the new things come in. I really like that, seeing things from a higher perspective. So that's beautiful. Again, this patience coming in. Be patient with the process, knowing that, the caterpillar trusts the process of the cocoon, and while they're in the cocoon, transforming into a butterfly. So we can trust the creator and spirit as well. Yep. And then we have the Spirit of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. This is great. A wonderful awareness around our beliefs is that, of course, we're all taught to define our worth by the outside world, relationships, situations, and things. But all those are unstable. So what the King of Pentacles learns as from the Four of Pentacles in the suit, that when they define themselves by the outside world, they felt unstable because all three of those things are unstable where we're told to look. People change, people walk away, people pass away. So human relationships are temporary and fickle and ever-changing. So when we define ourselves by those, that's why we feel so unstable ourselves. Situations like jobs, education, social status, whatever situations we can get into, constantly changing. So when we define ourselves by them, we also feel constantly changing, unstable, and not, knowing who we are. And then, of course, things, our bank accounts, our possessions, our bodies, all those things deteriorate, break down, blow up, stolen, whatever, all unstable. Eventually, we turn inward to our self-love, which is eternal, never-ending, and unconditional, meaning no conditions, not even one, because that's all it takes to become conditional is one condition, right? So that is a very solid foundation to have our worth in, not the outside world. And that's what the King of Pentacles realized. When they got tired of that instability of the outside world, they turned inward and upward and found that stability. So I love that. Let's see. What do we believe and why? And are we ready to sacrifice our roles for love? All right, let's take a look here. What do we believe around relationships and why? Okay, I've got these, and then I feel like these down here, and this one, and this one, and this one down here too. And I feel like we're adding one up there, and then energy here. All right. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Devil card, Capricorn, Saturn energy, the shaker and the rattler of all long-held beliefs, right? What a perfect card just to kind of put down here, because that's what we were talking about with growth, and maybe we'll put it over here with the mulch, because this is this energy of the shaking and the growing pains, and when all this conflict comes up to our face, so we have to see it and to be able to try to move beyond it. And so, but with the Saturn energy, with there's always this, there we go. So it got all bright, right? There's a bright light shining on things, but there is this, we have to have those and see them in order to release them. Otherwise, we'll keep repeating those patterns. So what do we believe around relationships? Yeah, our temperance. Here's patience again. Things have to happen right away, right now. We need these things to happen. Otherwise, what does it all mean? It's temperance is trusting the magic, trusting the alchemy, trusting that eventually things do turn to gold, right? Four of Wands, happy, happy, joy, joy. This is the marriage card. And the Spirit of Swords. Here's the King of Swords. So there's a lot of long-held beliefs. And there's so many. And I like this, that when we're asking, what do I believe? Well, a lot of small t truths, like the Devil card. rooted in fear, a lot of opinion growing up. And we all have different opinions of this long list of rules because we've all been taking information from all these different sources. So none of us have the exact same expectations. Otherwise, if we all had them, we would all just do them and everyone would be happy. But even when we think we're hitting all the expectations, we're wondering, why is that person unhappy with me? I'm doing all the stuff that I think I'm supposed to do. Well, we're not matching up to their list, right? So there is this long list around relationships and what's supposed to bring us joy, when things are supposed to happen. And they're constantly changing and unstable in our own minds, much less between everyone else. So that's good to know. And then why do we believe all this? Well, we know we've been conditioned growing up with it. There is the wheels of fate. Everything is unfolding for us. And, I like this. We're also taught when these things happen in the outside world, they're happening to us. And this means this about me. But the Wheel of Fortune is one of the cards that tells us that life always unfolds for us, the tune of for us, the fortune. But there's this fate where, and I think I mentioned a little earlier that, we've always done the best we could in the moment with what we knew, the energy around us and the environment, right? And so we can change that. And we do have fated things in our life that will, if we don't make significant change when have been wanting it to, eventually we've given permission for our spiritual posse to come in and throw things to, again, those growth things. Here it is. You can't get past this. You must look at this now, right? Here's the Lover's card. I love the little heart in between the eagles here. So we also, why do we believe what we believe? Again, this power of choice, all these major arcana. This is our important relationships. So much of what we believe is when we were 7 years old and younger. Here's our parents, right? Mama and Daddy Eagle. And they taught us what they thought at the time when we were growing up. But they can change later. But by the time we start questioning our beliefs, we've passed it down from generation to generation. That's why things don't change a whole lot until a chain breaker comes in and they ignite it earlier than before. Yep, the Nine of Pentacles too. We believe what we believe because especially when we used to be pocketed away and we didn't look on the internet and we didn't have this global, awareness of all these different opinions. We used to grow up in small towns, usually even named after our family. And everyone kind of had the same beliefs and it was pocketed in. And, people didn't welcome strangers. If you see those old Westerns, you ain't from around here, are you? It's strangers can move along because we like our little community that all keeps the same rules. At least we pretend that we all do. But it was small communities as we grew to larger cities. And of course, the internet, we've started having more inner conflict because we see everyone else's opinions are in our face, right? So that's another reason why we believe what we believe. And the universe. There is this significant endings of old cycles, beginning of new adventures. It's like the cycles. This is the cycles that have continued over and over and over and over and over again in the past. But this generation, probably the last 30, 40 years, probably around that time frame, people have been doing a lot of self-help, a lot of counseling, looking into a lot of different things. And so our ideas are also changing. What we are thinking and why we're thinking it is also changing. But it also, when change happens, our little inner child feels unsafe and out of control. That can make us double down on our beliefs as well. Ooh, I know, fun. All right. So, and then for the last question that we had, are you ready to sacrifice our rules about love? We have the moon card. Yep, the moon cycles. We're ready. The full moon coming to the new moon. Ready to use the full moon for releasing and the new moon for planting new things. We have the manure, the strength card. Yeah, we have the strength. This is connection of our human to our higher self. We are in an age where we are seeing things from a higher perspective. And with all that, we're being set free and being released so that we can see things more clearly and release the old ways to embrace higher ways rooted in unconditional love as well. And then the star card. Here's Aquarius energy. It's the hope card. It is about seeing things from a higher perspective, but Aquarian energy is also when the old ways no longer serve us. Aquarius is all that Uranus planet ruled by Uranus, which is change, 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 change. Again, old ways aren't working anymore. We need new, higher ways. So this is a huge yes, we are ready to sacrifice our old rules for love. And the Three of Pentacles. This is all about being true to our authentic selves, letting go the fear of being a disappointment, the fear of losing support. And it's the time, the era of being true to you. Be who you are. Don't try to control others, and don't let others control us through fear. Be true to our authentic selves. The Nine of Wands, yeah, perseverance, breaking through those barriers, ready to move through. We're tired of knocking our head on the same wall over and over again. We are ready to move forward. And movement forward. Movement of Swords. Movement of thought and belief and mindset. What a great card to answer this question about are we ready to sacrifice our roles? Yeah, we're ready to be on this quest of seeing things for this Ace of Swords, to see things from that higher perspective. And I love that. And then we'll end with this last card here. We got the Seven of Cups. Yep, there's confusion around what we feel, and there's no wrong choice. There's no wrong feeling or emotion. There's just different emotions with different outcomes and different experiences. And when we're ready to change, when we're ready to feel something different, we can make that emotional power of choice, right? I love it. So hopefully this information helped. If it did, I appreciate a big thumbs up. That does tell me that these readings, you enjoyed them and that they're helpful. And if you want to dive deeper with me, I do have YouTube channel memberships at 2 levels. Zen Cricket, Praying Mantis, all that information is down in the description box. I also offer personal readings and a Hedge of Peace and Love. All that is linked down below as well. And I go live for free readings on Friday and Saturday nights at 6 p.m. Mountain Time and Saturday and Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So if you'd like to join me, I'd love to see you. Until then, remember, as you're going through your adventure, that every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. Remember, have fun. Because why are we being so serious? All right. I love you. We'll see you soon.